Hey, what is going on, guys? We are back here with the homeless consultant, Paul B. Or is it? He looks mysteriously doppelganger-like. He looks like fake, possibly. There's like this weird artifacting and it's like a green screen, or he's been imposed into the shot somehow. Alright, let's see what's going on here.
Welcome to the Homeless Consultant's channel.
Uh-oh.
My name is Paul B. I am the Homeless Consultant. On today's video...
What is this animation? It's like it was popular at one point. It was like it had its moment where it's just like vaguely, so you've got like a still image, and I guess they can I guess manipulate the face only, and it's kind of dead-eyed, but it does actually allow at least the mouth to move freely.
I need to make a confession and finally...
Oh yeah, and it kind of like in that slight turn, it's very, very subtle. But I guess back maybe 10 years ago, this would have been like, yeah, this is pretty cool technology.
...come clean. It is finally time to tell you who I really am, and it is time to tell all of my viewers the real truth.
Yeah, all right, let's have it.
About what a great and wonderful place the state of Minnesota really is. The truth is, folks, I am not homeless at all. And
well, yeah, that's true. He's getting meta. He's getting really weirdly meta, where he's just like, yeah, I kind of know it's all bullshit, and I really can't hold my tongue on this, so I'm going to create this dumb scenario to basically tell on myself and, you know, let my conscience rest a little bit. I'm going to get this out of my system, but also not.
And I do not live in a car. I know I told you that Minnesotans are heartless, lazy bums who function like a mindless, socially inept cult that attacks or destroys outsiders and transplants to the state. I know I told you that Minnesotans have social skills that fall somewhere between Charles Manson and Hannibal Lecter. I know I told you that the Minnesota government is so incompetent, negligent, and corrupt that it makes the three...
Oh, mate's going off, jeez.
Stooges look like the Manhattan Project by comparison. I know I told you that there are 20,000 homeless people in Minnesota who are ignored.
I don't know if that number was right. I think it's like, not at any given moment, but maybe during like a certain period of time, there could be somewhat in and around that number, but like homeless is a really nebulous term when they use it to describe what is going on. So it's not traditionally homelessness. It could be displaced for a certain amount of time, like a matter of days or weeks, but it's not like a permanent thing.
Mocked, humiliated, molested, tortured, and left for dead by the Minnesota government, Minnesota churches, the Minnesota news media, and 5.5 million Minnesotans. But none of that is true. I was lying to you all along.
Yeah, I can believe it. I can definitely believe it.
All of the evidence...
Or at the very least, you were exaggerating.
I provided you in more than 150 videos on the Homeless Consultant channel was just made up out of whole cloth and Photoshop. The truth is, the great state of Minnesota is actually filled with nothing but generous, charitable, well-meaning, neighborly, and exceedingly nice people. The truth is, Minnesotans all have hearts of gold, and it is inconceivable that they would ever allow even one fellow equal human being to live in the kind of horrific...
I swear, if I just like line this video up for like one of my boomer relatives, they might believe this is real. They might go, "Oh, that guy's really he's speaking truth to power. He's very genuine. He's an honest guy."
Horrific, nightmarish, third world conditions that I've shown you in all of my Homeless Consultant videos. The truth is, Minnesotans are great and wonderful people who work hard, get the job done, and always go above and beyond the call of duty. The truth is, Minnesota's churches serve God even better than the apostles did. The truth is, Minnesota's
All right. Turn it down, fake Paul. Turn it down.
state government is so competent that it provides the solution to every problem that mankind has ever faced.
Shit.
Especially when it comes to homelessness, the Minnesota government has provided the final solution.
Oh God. Paul can't ever help himself with that sort of stuff. It's always on the tip of his tongue. It's always at the forefront of his mind. It's just like, how can I equivocate this to the Holocaust at any given moment and any given time of the day?
Don't let that George Floyd thing fool you.
Uh,
Don't let all of those violent
that was Minnesota, wasn't it? That was somewhere in Minnesota. Where did he die? George Floyd death. Uh, yeah, Minneapolis, but where? Where in Minneapolis? Where? What was the verb? Was it near Paul anyway? All right, it's literally 20 minutes drive from Burnsville, where Paul is usually loitering around in his car. So yeah, 20 minutes. He was, and what did they burn down in Minneapolis? What was the main area they burnt down? Yeah, I want to say the violence kicked off down this Westlake Street. And then there's just like a slew of damage just coming through this Westlake Street. Yeah, all down that Westlake Street that goes from, uh, I want to say west to east. So it becomes west and then it becomes East Lake Street. Was just like a slew of violence, things burnt down, and then it extends out to St. Paul, which is, I guess, part of the. So you've got Minneapolis and St. Paul are the twin cities. Not too much damage in St. Paul, but it's all concentrated down this Lake Street, which is pretty much dead center in Minneapolis.
Don't be fooled by all of those reports that Governor Tim Walz asked every other American in every other state to pay for his negligence when he asked the federal government for taxpayer dollars to rebuild Minneapolis after he cowered inside his mansion and allowed that city to be destroyed right in front of everyone's eyes. There is a perfectly good explanation for why you saw all of those reports in the national news media. You see, Minnesota was set up by the Trump administration.
What?
Now, to prove to you beyond any doubt whatsoever who I really am, and that what I'm saying right now in this video is the real truth, here are a few photographs of me inside a couple of my other cars outside some of my many homes that I own. To
Damn.
further prove that I have been lying to you all along, here's a photo of me telling a homeless person to talk to the hand. And here's another photo of me asking a homeless person.
Yeah, but there is certain homeless people you don't like. There is certain people you would like probably motherfuck and say, they're not really homeless or they don't fit within my criteria of being a proper homeless person. So yeah, I could believe that.
Why don't you just get a job? I know I've told you for 4 years that the state of Minnesota denied me my constitutional right to vote in the 2016 election because I'm homeless, and that a lazy and corrupt Minnesota state government, which promotes voter fraud, still has not responded to my notarized complaints 4 years later. But again,
Yeah, that is lost. I don't know if it even made it to anyone who would like a public official. I don't think anyone actually saw that. It's literally it probably got sent, delivered, and immediately in the bin.
I was lying. You can see for yourself right here. This is a photographic proof that simply cannot be.
All right, Paul, I can see a female legs. You're not tricking me, buddy, and you're not that tall. You're not that tall. Yeah, it's just like, why did he put it there? Anyway.
Denied. You can see it right there in front of your eyes, folks. This is the truth. just like everything the Minnesota news media tells you is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I know I told you that my last vacation I took in a cheap, rundown, junkie-infested Minnesota motel that I could barely even afford to stay in for only 5 days. But the real truth is that I took my last vacation on the International Space Station,
Mm-hmm.
where I stayed for an entire month at a cost of $100,000 per day.
Shit.
I know I told you that Governor Tim Walz's stay-at-home order was unconstitutional and immoral and devastating, and that it inherently discriminates against the homeless who have no home to stay in. I know I told you that his executive order cost me my job for 2 months, and that it forced me against my will to consume all of my savings, just desperately trying to stay alive. I welcomed Governor Walz's stay-at-home order. That's the truth, folks. It allowed me to just sit at home and hang out and party inside my mansion, where I recorded an entire CD of original music inside my home studio, and all of it was paid for by unemployment insurance and stimulus checks. To prove that this is true, here's a photo of me buying 1,000 scratch-off lottery tickets on the very day that I posted that video where I asked viewers for donations to help keep me alive. I know I told you that I received
I wonder what that video is, and I wonder, did he get donations? And to how much did he get?
$0 in donations from 5.5 million Minnesotans in response to that desperate plea for help. But
Well, I'm guessing he didn't get anything.
again, the truth, folks, is that I couldn't even count all of the money that came in from so many good-hearted Minnesotans who immediately responded to my cry for help. In fact, I used their donations to purchase this beautiful island in the Caribbean. I got it at a really heavily discounted price.
Wait, is that the old Epstein Island? Maybe. Little St. James? Maybe, maybe not. Where's the dome? Where's the thing? Maybe it's not there yet.
And it even came with its own private jet, a jet that President Bill Clinton has flown on
Oh, it
several
is, it
times.
is, it is. Of course it is.
And I know I told you that nobody even looks at me in Minnesota, let alone talks to me, because I'm homeless. But the truth can be seen right here in these photographs, where you see me hobnobbing with Governor Tim Walz and many other influential Minnesotans. That's
Yeah, he fits right. Paul fits right in there.
the truth, folks. You see,
Oh,
Minnesota is the real land of opportunity. I made my first millions here by setting up an anti-smoking front organization that received millions of dollars in funding tobacco taxes in exchange for kicking some of that money back to the same legislators who increased those tobacco taxes in the first place in the form of campaign I mean, no, I made my first millions working in a gas station. That's yeah, I was only 18 years old. I'm sorry about that. I was working in a gas station. Made my first millions of dollars. You see, everyone works hard and prospers financially here in the great state of Minnesota. So there you have it, folks. I apologize for all of the malicious lies I have told you about Minnesota and its people here on the Homeless Consultant channel. These people have been just great and wonderful comrades to me over the years. And the truth is, Governor Tim Walz is the most compassionate man I have ever... What?
oh shit. Get that ass. Beat it. Stomp his ass. Go on, stomp him. Whew.
Can't a man just go to the bathroom without the Minnesota Department of Reputation Management trying to hijack his YouTube channel? I mean, come on.
So what is the scenario here? Did Paul, the real Paul, came in on I want, all right, either it's going to be a cloned Paul. So Minnesota government had an embryo, like had DNA of Paul. They've cloned him, and maybe they've fast tracked the clone to like grow and look like him. It's obviously the clone isn't all there. It's maybe it's a robot, maybe it's a cyborg. I need to know if Paul has a backstory on what that clone was.
It's ridiculous. This is what I have to deal with, folks. These people, they do not want someone like me telling you the truth. The truth is that I am homeless.
Paul, please give me a backstory. I need to know what that was. Like, I need to know in canon, in your head, what they just try to pull on you.
I do live in this car as winter is approaching, with no climate control, including heat. And 5.5 million Minnesotans just don't care. That's the truth. I'll be back later with a real homeless consultant video. Thank you so much for watching. That guy didn't even look like me.
So he's not going to elaborate on what he was or what that thing was, because if you jump into your car and you see some guy that's like obviously either a person in a mask, some weird fucking clone, or some cyborg like um android thingy, I like, of course you're not gonna just throw him out, beat the shit out of him, and then just like jump in your car and just say nothing else about it. I need to know more. Paul, tell me about him. Deceivers fill the void of darkness that exists in those who refuse to cherish and seek the truth. Yeah, that is a disappointing end. I wanted Paul to maybe come up with a concept for the doppelganger there to explain him in lore in the Pauliverse of like what exactly he was. But Paul just like beat him up, you know, split his wig and kind of left him laying, but didn't really go on about it anymore outside of like the guy doesn't even look like me. All right, guys, that is another Paul fever dream. But at least we know the truth now. The truth is out there. Paul made sure we know that. The real Paul. I'm not talking about that fake Paul. And that fake Paul is now... I don't know what they did with him. I don't know if he ever returns. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't seen him in anything else. Alright guys, till next time.